Patriots, who won that game last season, now in a fight to return to the playoffs. Drew Bledsoe and Ben Coates and company will try to get it done today. The Jaguars can clinch a spot in the playoffs with a win. Their high-scoring offense featuring the running and passing of quarterback Mark Brunell and the deep threat of Jimmy Smith, the AFC's second leading receiver. Entering today's game, the Patriots in a three-way tie with the Jets and Dolphins in the AFC East. No team there can clinch a playoff spot today. The Jaguars, playing their final regular season home game, also tied for first place. They're deadlocked with Pittsburgh, and a win puts Jacksonville in the postseason today. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Jacksonville. Tom Hammond and Randy Cross ready for this battle between two first-place teams, although the Patriots playing with one hand behind their back today. Curtis Martin, who's gained 1,100 yards, injured, will not play. That means that Meggett will start, and it means that also Greer and Colors will see action at running back. So that puts a lot of pressure on Drew Bledsoe.
Well, it really does. You know, Drew Bledsoe is going to have to have a running game, though. But this is a game I look for Drew Bledsoe to step up. He's going to get pressure. He's going to have to find Coates. He's going to have to find Jefferson. Today's the day you find out if Drew Bledsoe wants to be one of those great quarterbacks.
Jacksonville has a lot of offensive weapons, but Mark Brunell is the key.
Yeah, he really is. He's fully recovered from that knee injury earlier this year. He's running around. He's moving around. And as you can see from these stats, he's throwing the ball good now for Jacksonville. And with Smith and McCardell on the outside, he gives big trouble to cornerbacks.
And Coach Tom Coughlin of the Jaguars telling us yesterday that their goals for this season were set after the loss to the Patriots in the AFC Championship game a season ago, so revenge would be sweet for Jacksonville today. The Patriots and the Jaguars from Jacksonville will return for the opening kickoff in just a moment. Welcome back to Jacksonville, where the Jaguars have won 13 straight games. New England wins the toss. They will receive. So Mike Hollis is set to kick off for the Jaguars. Meggett and Colors are the deep men. Colors does have a touchdown this season on a kickoff return. Short kick by Hollis. Taken by Colors at about the 15-yard line. Toward the center of the field, dodges one man and another. Finally taken down at about the 31-yard line, a 15-yard return. Tackled by Mike Logan on special teams. So Drew Bledsoe leads his offense onto the field. The offensive line keyed by Bruce Armstrong, the five-time Pro Bowl performer at left tackle. Bledsoe, two pretty good games after a slump against Tampa Bay. Meggett gets the start in place of Martin. Gash, Brown, Jefferson, and the dangerous Ben Coates at tight end.
You'll find out how much attack this offense has in it right now.
Play action fake. Bledsoe on target, complete to Stan Gash, and the fullback bumped out of bounds close to the first down marker. Gain of 10. Kevin Hardy got him out of bounds. Gash with his 16th reception of the season. Lageman, then the two rookies, Wynn and Payne up front for Jaguars. Clyde Simmons leads them in sacks. Hardy, Schwartz, and Robinson, all competent tacklers. Thomas, Figures, Davis, and Hudson in the secondary. Schwartz and Robinson tied for leading tackle honors coming into today's game. Short drop, Bledsoe again in the right flat, this time to Troy Brown, and Brown dancing for a first down, again covered by Kevin Hardy. Two straight passes, two 10-yard gains for Drew Bledsoe.
You know, on that play there, Drew Bledsoe lines up after throwing a short pass to Sam Gash in the first play with absolutely no running back. Nobody in the backfield for the New England Patriots.
45-yard line of Jacksonville. New England with a first down. I formation this time. Gash the fullback. Meggett the tailback. David Meggett with his first carry of the game just tripped up as he gained about 3 yards. Ronaldo Wynn, the rookie from Notre Dame, able to get a hand on an ankle to trip up David Meggett.
Yeah, that's one area that this New England Patriots team has got to attack. Those two young rookies, Payne and Wynn. Wynn more of the strength guy. Payne will move around a little bit more, but you know, that rookie out of Cornell, Payne, I would go after that side right there, inside with that crackback blocking and trapping.
Pete Carroll, the Patriots coach, saying they won't abandon the running game in the absence of Martin. Gash in motion, Bledsoe to pass. And complete for another first down. Meggett out of the backfield. Eddie Robinson covering Meggett. They're getting the matchups they want, the linebackers on the running backs, and they're moving the football.
Boy, Larry Kennan, the offensive coordinator, is obviously taking the use the pass as the run approach with the short pass to Gash already, the short pass to Dave Meggett. And what that does is that just takes a little bit of steam off this Jaguar defense. When Bledsoe and this offense have problems, it's when the defense of Tom Coughlin's or anybody else's just flat attacks that quarterback position.
Bledsoe has hit his first 3 passes. Here's number 4. Whips it downfield over the head of Ben Coates and incomplete.
Well, Jeff Lageman was the reason that ball was incomplete. Right into the lower body, into the legs of Drew Bledsoe, made that ball sail out of there quick. And he really does it in a way that he just sort of attacks and is tenacious. There's Lageman down at the bottom of the screen right there. Watch how he does it. Ideally, you want a running back like a Dave Meggett trying to get into a Jeff Lageman. A good job by Meggett, but the odds say any more matchups like that, Lageman gets a nice hit on Drew Bledsoe.
Lageman went deer hunting in Georgia this past Tuesday and landed a 6-point buck. He'd like to land a couple of Drew Bledsoes today as well. Blitz comes, and the flags fly. Dale Hamer, today's referee.
False start. Number 68 of the offense. 5 yards. Still second down.
Max Lane, the left guard, guilty of the false start as the Jaguars were coming with everybody.
Well, you knew somebody was going to flinch. Watch how this thing develops. 1, 2, 3 blitzers in the middle. Somebody's got to flinch because everybody's worried about who's got who. And Drew Bledsoe just said, oh, man, I had the pass. I had the coverage I wanted.
It'll be 2nd and 15 for New England. They'll come with a 3 wide receiver set. Sean Jefferson, Vincent Brisby, and Troy Brown.
Troy Brown, the last month or so, has really stepped up for this offense. With no Terry Glenn, he's got to take over the deep threat.
3 wides to the left, and now Jefferson in motion. Bledsoe across the middle. Coates couldn't hang on. Knocked away by Travis Davis, the strong safety, who was right with Ben Coates.
One thing we'll see a lot out of Ben Coates today is he'll line up in a lot of different positions. Here at the natural tight end spot, they're just trying to cross and move as many receivers as possible. Vincent Brisby in there right at the same time as Ben Coates. You got to think Brisby had no business being 3 feet away from that tight end as the ball was thrown to him.
There you see the numbers on Coates, leading receiver for the Patriots this season. Been to the last 3 Pro Bowls. Bledsoe in the flat. Brisby to the 30-yard line, short of the first down. Knocked out of bounds by Dion Figures. It'll be 4th down.
Pushed out by Dion Figures.
And Vinatieri will come on to attempt a field goal off the opening drive of the game.
And in this direction, Tom, Vinatieri will have the prevailing wind here at Alltel will be at his back.
Tom Tupa, the punter, will hold. It'll be a 44-yard attempt. Vinatieri puts it in the air, and it's good. So Vinatieri hits a 44-yard field goal, and the Patriots break on top of the Jaguars by 3. That flyby here in Jacksonville at the conclusion of the national anthem in honor of those who gave their lives 56 years ago today, December 7th, 1941, Pearl Harbor. Good omen for the New England Patriots.
It really is. It's something you've got to emphasize with a team, especially when it's been struggling a little bit like New England.
Vinatieri's kick to Reggie Barlow. Barlow cutting back. Got away from one man, but not the second and third. To the 21-yard line, Steve Israel made the sure tackle after a 17-yard return. Mark Brunell brings his offense onto the field for the first time. Tony Boselli back at that crucial left tackle spot after missing a couple of games with injuries. Dave Wydell at center with the injury to Michael Cheever. Brunell with Means, although James Stewart sees a lot of time as well at running back. Hallett, Smith, and McCardell. Very potent wide receiver tandem, one of the best in football. And Pete Mitchell, the tight end, leading pass receiver at that spot. And now Damon Jones and Mitchell with 2 tight ends on this first down play. Brunell, short drop. His pass caught Mitchell wrestled down after a gain of about 7 yards by Ty Law, starting corner for the Patriots. New England lines up this way, up front with Sullivan, Wheeler, Thomas, and McGinnis. McGinnis against Boselli will be a matchup to watch today. Slade Johnson, who's the leading tackler, Ty Law, Hitchcock, Malloy, and Willie Clay, who has 5 interceptions.
You know, to use a boxing analogy, if you're talking about the jab punch, that is definitely the running backs and the tight ends. But these wide receivers, Smith and McCardell, are the knockout, down-the-field burners.
And they like to go down the field. Natron Means with his first carry, stopped just short of the first down by Ted Johnson.
Stopped by number 24, Ty Law, and number 52, Patriots linebacker.
These two teams generally are right out of the gate two of the best teams scoring points in the NFL in the first quarter. Jacksonville is the best.
And both teams also share another problem of late, Tom, and that's really finishing somebody off. Doing well through about 3 quarters and putting that knockout punch on somebody. Neither one of these teams have been able to really close the deal. They start good, but they fade fast.
Third and less than a yard. Means has it to the 35-yard line. First down, Jacksonville.
And that's the one thing the Jacksonville Jaguars team has been missing of late, and that's been that closer type guy. Natron Means or James Stewart out of the running back position, but you get that offensive line like it's blocking right there, it's looking healthy, and you've got 250 pounds of nothing but momentum coming into you, and you're hitting him with your stomach, and he's hitting you with his helmet. He's going forward.
Natron missed most of 3 games with an ankle injury. He's back strong. Give to Means again. Tough going in the middle of the New England defense. Chris Sullivan was first to hit him in his second year from Boston College. As you see the other scores, no score early in that crucial Denver-Pittsburgh matchup. Kansas City continues to play well, breaking the top of the Green Bay-Tampa Bay matchup scoreless. Great games today around the NFL, including here in Jacksonville, where the Patriots are leading 3-0 over the Jaguars just past the 10-minute mark in the first quarter. 5:28! Means spreading the defense for a gain all the way past the first down marker. Lawyer Malloy finally brought him down. Means hit early, kept churning, and had a first down run.
Well, the strength of this running team is right here on that left side. When you look at Ben Coleman and Tony Boselli, now you've got Jones the tight end and Mitchell the tight end. You just got a mismatch. You've got more players on that side of the ball than that Patriots defense can handle, and that kind of run shows why.
4 rushes, 1 pass for the Jags so far. Here's a rush. James Stewart, who just came in for Means, hit and dropped at the line of scrimmage by Chris Slade.
You know, James Stewart and Natron Means have been just a 1-2 combination for this offense. And most of that, I think, is because Natron Means earlier this year had the dreaded high ankle sprain.
Right.
And for those of you who don't understand it and get sick of hearing that term, what it means is on Sundays you're just about good enough to play. But you don't get good enough to practice till Thursday or Friday, so the thing never heals until probably February.
Means is back in. Mitchell in motion. They've got Jones and Mitchell at wide receiver spots. Brunell passes complete over the middle to Keenan McCardell. He'll be just short of the first down at the 45 of New England, with Ted Johnson covering him.
And it's part of the effect when you've got McCardell and Smith playing. Your linebackers have to really take up the inside of the defense on the short passes because your defensive backs are so worried about those 2 receivers getting down the field. Great job of tackling by Collins and Johnson getting McCardell down. But if you're Ty Law or you're Hitchcock on the outside, do not turn your back and don't lose track of those guys.
4 wides for Jacksonville. 6 defensive backs New England on 3rd and 2. Brunell from the gun. Under pressure, sacked. Ball's loose, and New England has it. Willie McGinnis recovered the fumble after it was knocked from Mark Brunell.
What a nice play by Pete Carroll's defense. Jacksonville's moving it. They're moving it. What do? You bring the blitz on the outside, and you get a clean shot right there on Mark Brunell. That knocks the ball loose. That gives New England the ball. And that's talking about a little momentum. Steve
Ivgio's first sack of the season gives the Pats good field position. first carry. Excuse me, it's Greer. Mario Greer's first carry of the game gets him about 3 yards before Joel Smengi makes the tackle.
Well, Steve Israel up the top. Watch him come in. This is a strategy that worked so well in that championship game last year for New England. That's coming from Burnell's blind side. And Pete Carroll just getting his defense fired up because he knows they're going to be the key to getting that offense to hang in there and take a little of the spit and fire out of the Jaguars offense.
Bledsoe, Gash, Sam Gash blasting tacklers and appears to have the first down. Schwartz and Robertson collared him, but his momentum carried him past the down marker.
You know, Tom, here's a part of the missing puzzle. You know, all year long, people have wondered where has Sam Gash been. So maybe from a positive standpoint, you see, without Curtis Martin, you get a chance to feature Sam Gash not as just a lead blocker, give him the ball a little out of fullback position, and receiving-wise, I think that's what he presents the biggest plus to this offense, is as a receiver with his hands and with his size after he catches it.
Gash leaves the game. Keith Byers replaces him on first down at the 36. Ben Coates shakes one tackler and is caught from behind at the 9-yard line by Eddie Robinson. You could hear the blast up here as Coates lowered his pads to break the tackle and gained 29 yards.
This tight end knows when people want to tackle him, they're going to go low. And when you go low and he knows it, he's giving you a shoulder. See that left shoulder goes right into the defensive back? That is some great technique by Ben Coates. And you want a little fire? You think the quarterback thought he might have broke that for a touchdown?
Bledsoe's hit 6 of his first 8 for 80 yards to 5 different receivers. To the end zone, open and touchdown, Troy Brown. Wide open Brown for his 6th touchdown reception of the season.
Well, for those of you out there that were wondering whether or not Drew Bledsoe was going to be ready to go and take the load with no Curtis Martin, that answers your question. That was all set up by that great sack and fumble caused by Steve Israel.
Israel caused the fumble on the sack. McGinnis recovers. Coates makes a big play, and then Bledsoe to Brown for the touchdown. Vinatieri to add the extra point. And he got it. New England looking sharp early, offensively and defensively. They lead 10-0. So has hit 7 of his first 9 passes, including that 9-yard touchdown to Troy Brown. Great start for Drew and the New England offense and defense. They lead by 10. Vinatieri's kick. Barlow and Logan. This will be Barlow from about the 10. Stood up and driven back. And a fumble again. Is there a fumble?
Definitely a fumble. That ball was on the ground from contact.
And New England has it again. New England has it again. So add special teams to the list of stars on the New England side of the ball in this first quarter. Offense, defense, and special teams playing well. Recovering the ball, Teddy Bruschi on special teams after Vernon Crawford has knocked it loose on this hit.
Big time hit by Crawford. Squares them up, and Barlow just drops that thing. That is a big special teams play. 2 weeks ago in a big game against Miami, the special teams of the New England Patriots did not play particularly well.
Plus 11 in the turnover department now on the season for New England. And you see the 2 Jacksonville turnovers. Coughlin's team turned it over 4 times in the AFC Championship game a year ago when the Patriots beat them. Bledsoe again to Gash in the flat. This one only good for 3 yards. Dave Thomas wraps him up immediately, but it is the 3rd reception for Sam Gash. Things been happening so furiously, we haven't had a chance to look at the touchdown.
Well, look how Brown comes down the field pretty much unimpeded and is wide open. You know what that is a product of besides a nice pass by Bledsoe? Great game planning, good coaching sets those kind of things up.
In the absence of Curtis Martin today, the Patriots have passed 10 times and rushed only 2. Gash, tough going up the middle. To Olo and Robinson, the tackle, as we go to Greg Gumbel in New York. Greg?
Handled by Sam Gash.
Well, Tom, there's some good news for Jacksonville fans in Pittsburgh. John Elway and the Broncos get on the board first against the Steelers. 38-yard touchdown pass, Elway to Rod Smith with the extra point. Denver has grabbed a 7-0 lead on Pittsburgh in the first quarter, Tom.
All right, Greg, thank you very much. Not much good news for Jag fans here, however. Already 10-0 New England. Patriots threatening again after the Jaguars' second turnover first quarter. Bledsoe hit as he released, and it's incomplete, intended for Brown. Tony Brackens was putting the pressure on Bledsoe.
If you're a football fan around the country and you like good defensive football, you're going to see a lot out of that kid right there, Tony Brackens, top of the screen, working against Bruce Armstrong. That is how you set up a big offensive tackle outside and use that quickness and speed to get back underneath him to get a shot on the quarterback.
Giants and Eagles 7-7 as Vinatieri lines up for his second field goal attempt. He connected earlier. 42-yard and 41-yard attempt after hitting from 44 earlier in the game. Sends it on its way and through the uprights. Vinatieri is 2 for 2, and everything coming up roses for Pete Carroll and the Pats. Pete Carroll and the Patriots taking advantage of the Jacksonville turnovers. Fumbles converted into 10 New England points. And a continuing problem for the Jaguars. Now 6 turnovers their last 3 games. Here's Vinatieri's kick. Reggie Barlow a yard deep. And a reverse as he hands to Logan. And Logan gets away from one man and then is swamped at the 20-yard line. A little trickery, but New England was ready for it. We're ready to go back to Greg Gumbel in New York. He has another update for us. Greg?
Hey, Tom, I giveth and I taketh away. Jacksonville fans are going to hate this. Cordell Stewart's a Yancey Pigpen, and he does the rest. 32 yards in all for the touchdown with the extra point. The Steelers have pulled even with the Denver Broncos now at 7 in the first quarter, Tom.
Greg, you're just a tease.
How tough is it this year in the AFC voting for the Pro Bowl for wide receivers? Thigpen, Smith, McCardell, and Smith here.
Here's Nathan Means. Means got a block at the point of attack and gains about 9 yards before Willie McGinnis grabs him from behind. Big gain for Nathan Means on first down. Follow the NFL online at msnbcsports.com. Go interactive and vote for the player you feel deserves Comeback Player of the Year, all at msnbcsports.com. In case you're wondering, the Comeback Player of the Year nominees: Andre Rison, Warren Moon, Gary Brown, Neil Smith, Garrison Hurst, Eric Kramer, Jeff George, and Robert Brooks.
Well, right now the Patriots get the return to Florida comeback team of the year. They got pounded in Florida last time by Tampa, and they look strong today.
And they look strong on that stop of Nathan Means. He only needed a yard for the first down, and Mark Wheeler stops him for a loss.
And what this Jag offense is seeing is a New England defense that is giving it multiple looks. They're giving him the stunts, they're giving him blitzes, and they're giving him a hard time because they're squaring up on blockers. Look at Chris Slade, 53, working on Baselli. That is a huge size mismatch, and Slade just stands the big guy up and won't let him pound him. I mean, this guy is known as a pass rusher. That was an excellent job of defending the run by Slade.
Jackson, McCardell, Barlow, Smith, 4 wide receivers facing 6 defensive backs. Cornell's pass, good for the first down. Catch made by Willie Jackson, twisted down by Willie Clay, but not until he had first down yardage. 14th catch of the season for the 4-year veteran from nearby Gainesville, the University of Florida Gators.
You know, how are you effective against an offense this good? Well, one, you get a start like this and you get a lead, and it makes this offense press a little bit. And Tom Coughlin right now is trying to keep this offense in its pace, in its normal rhythm. You get out of rhythm and you start throwing the ball a lot, you're going to be in trouble against this defense.
Ty Halleck, the fullback, lined up at a wide receiver spot, bottom of the screen, 5 wides in the formation. Brunell short to McCardell, who makes the play, cuts back, McCardell all the way to the 45-yard line for Jimmy Hitchcock, tracks him down. Gain of 19 as the Jaguars open it up with a 5-wide formation.
You know, you see that fire right there by McCardell. That's what this Jaguar offense needs. And with something else this Jaguar offense needs are big plays created like this. That's a 5-yard gain that for a lot of receivers is a 5-yard gain. The rest of those yards are all McCardell.
Second catch of the day for Keenan. First down, Jaguars, 44 of New England. Patriots leading 13-0. Brunell, man covered, tries to scramble, still looking downfield, tucks it under and ducks out of bounds. After gaining a couple of yards, Lawyer Malloy was bearing down on him. He ducked out of bounds.
You know, all the defenders we talked to yesterday for New England, they were unanimous in one thing. When Mark Brunell scrambles to his right, he's got a real good chance of running. When he goes to his left and he's going to that throwing side, you don't drop a receiver because he will throw the ball a lot from that scramble.
He was the #1 rushing quarterback in the NFL last season, gaining nearly 400 yards, as you saw 179 coming in today. Third leading rusher on the Jaguar team. That pass, bullseye, McCardell's third catch, close to the first down, 6 just inside the 35, covered by Hitchcock and Johnson. And that should bring the first quarter to a close. At the end of one, an opportunistic New England team taking advantage of Jacksonville mistakes to lead 13-0 after one.
McCardell a couple plays ago. Watch right here. Watch Ted Johnson adjust to this formation loaded over there. Why does he adjust? All the receivers. And Mark Brunell knows it. Watch the little look he sneaks. Right there. See those eyes? That's called watching a linebacker adjust to an overloaded formation.
He's kind of licking his chops, wasn't he, with his eyes anyway, huh? Brunell is 5 for 5, 50 yards passing, as the Jaguars trying to recover from the early shock of New England's opportunistic defense, which has caused 2 turnovers, resulting in 10 of their 13 points.
Well, they're down here 13-0, and this offense is clicking a little on this drive, Tom, but they're starting to move down into a part of the field that Tom Coughlin's offense in the red zone the last few weeks has really struggled.
Paid a lot of extra attention to that in practice this week. Means stopped short of the 30-yard line by Hitchcock in play. Let's go back to New York and check in again with Greg Nelson.
All right, Tom, big game in the AFC West for the Kansas City Chiefs. And Donnell Bennett from 9 yards out finds the way through the Oakland defense into the end zone for the touchdown with the extra point. The Chiefs with a 10-0 lead on the Raiders, and they're threatening again inside the 20-yard line, Tom.
All right, Greg, and the Chiefs playing so well, and you can bet they're watching that Pittsburgh-Denver score as well. A game behind the Broncos in the AFC West for the divisional championship. Brunell throws it away.
You know, Brunell did a smart thing there because he got great pass protection. But one thing I want you to watch is watch his feet in the pocket. Gets his shotgun snap, but watch how they never stop. Always talking about happy feet and quiet feet and confident feet. You know, those are the kind of feet right there that are looking for a reason to throw a ball. Those aren't happy feet. Those are convicted feet.
First one he missed today, and that was on purpose. Facing a 3rd and 7 here, and 6 defensive backs, 9th play of the Jacksonville drive. Under pressure, Brunell. Caught by Slade.
Wow, is that close to intentional grounding?
He has to be outside the tackles, and no flag came down, so I guess Brunell got away with it.
You see where Dale Hamer, our referee, immediately ran behind Brunell to see where he was in relation to where the ball was originally snapped. Look at where it snapped. It's on the left hash mark. And where does he get it out? That is a good non-call by Dale Hamer. Left hash mark, and he was outside Tony Baselli's left tackle position. Pete Carroll, obviously, you can see, does not quite agree with Mr. Hamer's reasoning on this.
Now,
back to the line of scrimmage. Intentional grounding. Number 8 in the offense.
that gets the award for the latest flag.
Well, here's why, and it is late, but it's smart that Dale Hamer checked in and really got all the input he needed for this call. He needs to know a few things. One is, where was the ball snapped?
Lost it down.
He needs to know, where is it snapped, not only on the field, but the line of scrimmage. And on the field, it's snapped on the hash mark. Watch the hash mark. Watch the tackle, Boselli. He is outside the tackle, but the ball doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage. That makes it the intentional grounding.
That's the second part of the rule. Have to be outside the tackles and the ball back to the line of scrimmage. So the punt by Barker, who is the best in the NFL, and it's going to be another dandy by Barker, down inside the 10-yard line. What a weapon he is. 43 yards, but more importantly, it backs the Patriots up inside their own 10-yard line. Not far from the beach in Jacksonville. Worst field position yet for the New England Patriots as they start at their own 9-yard line with a handoff to Mario Greer. And Greer stopped for a loss of a yard by Brian Schwartz, the middle linebacker of the Jaguars. So they start at their own 31 with a pretty good drive that results in the field goal. Then the two turnovers result in excellent field position.
Well, especially this one here, starting on the 48-yard line. I mean, Tom Coughlin, these kind of things drive Tom Coughlin absolutely nuts. And these are the kind of things Pete Carroll's football team has not gotten these kind of breaks from a good football team yet in a game with a team with a winning record yet.
Bledsoe, Byers out of the backfield, short game, maybe a yard or two. Kevin Hardy was ready for Byers. Pete Byers with his 17th reception of the season and closing in on 600 in his career.
Well, the New England Patriots this week working with the old leaf blowers in the huddle, trying to stimulate as much sound as they could for their football team, especially their offense. But this is the loudest part of this football stadium. And watch Bledsoe and his receivers. You'll see a lot of hand signals because not a single person outside of Drew is going to really be able to hear what it's on.
Bruce Armstrong with a false start, and again, it's the crowd noise that you can credit for that one.
And that's Bruce Armstrong's first penalty of 1997, and a lot of that's the crowd.
False start. Number 78 of the offense. 5 yards. Still third down.
It really doesn't matter how long you've been playing. When a crowd gets going like this, you're doing nothing but guessing. And the clinch by Tony Bracken, number 90 right there. Did you see that little clinch? That's what pulls Bruce Armstrong off because he assumes the defender's watching the ball. What?
Bledsoe's pass intended for Coates, flag down. Bracken's putting the pressure on Bledsoe.
Little defensive holding against the Jaguars.
This would be an automatic first down.
Wow. Another thing that's got to drive Coughlin nuts. Talk about letting him out of a hole.
What about his body language?
Number 27 of the defense. 5 yards. First down.
Deion Figures. And you see Tom Coughlin stalking the sideline like a Jaguar. Now he's going to work on the striped shirts a little bit. I wouldn't want to get close to him in any capacity right now.
Deion Figures lined up on the left side of the screen working against Ben Coates there. You see the hands he gets on Coates down the field. Initially, he's okay with that shot and that little grab, but you can't do it once you get past that 5-yard mark.
Boy, what a daunting picture that must be to see Big Ben Coates running right at you. Bledsoe's pass caught at the sideline by Sean Jefferson. Nice job by Jefferson. 16-yard game, New England first down. First reception of the day for Jefferson, and a late flag comes down. And Dale Hammer says, come on back here.
And it's going back the other way. It's against one of the offensive linemen.
Holding. Number 77 of the offense. Half a distance to the goal. Repeat first down.
Zephros Moss, right tackle.
Moss right here, working against Joel Smengi, number 99. Had initially had him by the back of the number. You see the way he twisted to the ground like that? That very well may not be holding by Moss, but that body action of twisting, a referee sees that, you got a flag.
Draw play handoff to Mario Greer, flags down. Jeff Payne on the tackle. And Sarah Tuaolo is in there too.
We had a little twinkle toes action going on the interior line of the Jaguars defense.
Tuaolo, I think, had a little premature start, tried to get back.
Was trying to stand on 4 toes and 2 fingertips and couldn't quite get back.
Offside on the defense, number 93, 5 yards, repeat first down.
It is Tua Olo. Coughlin continues to fume.
Watch Tua Olo right here. I said that. Watch his feet and watch his hands. He's like, wait, yo. You hate when that happens to you.
3 penalties each. New England for 16 yards. Jacksonville for 28.
You don't know whether to protect yourself or try to jump back. Because if they're going to snap the ball, you're going to get hammered.
Bledsoe standing in and sacked. Joel Smengi with Jacksonville's first sack of the day. For the 8-year veteran from Western Michigan, number 5 on the season.
And that's another nice job by Smengi. We've seen already Bracken do it. Watch Smengi go upstairs and then come downstairs. Working the outside shoulder of Moss, then goes to the inside shoulder when he sees the quarterback. The outside shoulder, now inside shoulder. Moss gives up so much space, he can have a direct route to the quarterback from where he'd been pushed to.
Smengi, the former Saint, with the big defensive play, and it's 2nd and 13, back at the 9-yard line.
Talk about some noise.
Blitz, flag down. Meggett gets nothing. Brackens with the tackle, but the blitz mistimed, I think.
Just trying to get a little bit too cute by the Jaguars defense. Trying to trade Lageman and Smengi, and
Offside on the defense, number 99, 5 yards, still second down.
Smengi offside.
well, they move Smengi. See, here's Lageman, here's Smengi. He gets into an unnatural position, which is down inside, and he's trying to anticipate Bledsoe's bark. I don't know about that. I mean, his lineman can't hear his bark. How can Joe Smengi hear his bark? You can only see a bark in this part of the field.
So both teams penalized on this abortive drive. 4th penalty on the drive. Mario Greer, couple of yards. Grant Boyer on the tackle for Jacksonville.
Not much of a game, but Tom, no flag.
Yeah, that's a moral victory. As the Patriots, without Curtis Martin, have rushed now 5 times for 7 yards. NBC tonight, don't miss the network television premiere of the action movie Terminal Velocity. Starring Charlie Sheen, that's right after bloopers and Dateline. Terminal Velocity at 9, 8 Central, NBC tonight. Tom Coughlin's going to be terminal if the Jacksonville Jaguars don't start cleaning up their game. Plenty of time for Bledsoe. Now the protection breaks down. And he throws incomplete, intended for Vincent Brisby. Jeff Lageman plus Bledsoe from the pocket.
Well, they're giving Bledsoe the last couple plays some different looks, and they finally stayed onside for that one. The linebacker chasing Drew Bledsoe there was Eddie Robinson, coming from his outside linebacker position. He lined up inside, and Lageman dropped into the linebacker flat drop.
You see Bledsoe get in the face of Brisby. You know that his leadership qualities have come into question in the media in the Boston area. He took the leadership role that time and got in the face of his receiver. Tom Tupa punting to Barlow, and Reggie Barlow takes it across the 45 to the 47-yard line. 50-yard return, or 50-yard punt, 11 on the return. Marty Moore made the special teams tackle. So the Patriots leading Jacksonville 13-0, 9:39 left, second quarter. Bledsoe missing on that last pass for Brisby and then getting right in his receiver's face. You think because Brisby didn't come back to him as Bledsoe was rolling from the pocket looking for a receiver downfield, and they really got into it. First down pitch on the sweep to James Stewart. New England strings it out and makes the tackle after a yard or two.
Nice contact by Lawyer Malloy, but you know, here's Brisby. Watch Brisby move across the field. Watch the very end. He sort of turns around, sort of looks uninterested. And Bledsoe immediately makes for him, and I'll paraphrase here. Hey, I'm running for my life. Try to help me out a little bit.
And Pete Carroll got in on the action as it continued while we were away in commercial. And now Brisbee wants a piece of Bledsoe, and the coaches have to step in to separate them.
Well, but later on, Bledsoe went back over, and they talked, and everything was fine. But
Brunell's pass off the hands of Jimmy Smith and incomplete. Chris Slade had a chance to intercept it.
Yeah, it's a little bit, we're looking at that whole confrontation thing with Brisbee and Bledsoe and the offense, and here's Bledsoe actually going back over and explaining what he was thinking to his receiver. This is a little bit of the fire you haven't seen out of this offense for the New England Patriots. They've been sort of a calm, I'll get it done. We've got so many tools and toys, we can do it, don't worry. This is a little emotion that's very uncharacteristic of this offensive football team.
Meanwhile, the defense is playing well. Brunell's in the shotgun. He's missed his last 3 passes. This one on target and caught by Smith. He is close to a first down. Steve Israel took him down just about at the marker. Let's see. Spot of the football is going to be important here.
Smith was positive he reached out far enough for that first down, and he did.
So Smith makes a clutch play, stretching for the first down, and Jacksonville retains possession of the football.
And that's his 38th consecutive game with a catch here for the Jaguars. But watch the way he stretches with this ball. He's stretching, trying to get by and further and further. But you saw the knees are down, and the official did a good job of spotting that ball where the ball was when the knees were down on the ground.
However, the Jaguars have to spend a timeout here, having trouble getting the play into Mark Brunell. They need a big one. They're down 13. First down Jaguars. They trail New England 13-0. They have the ball at the New England 43-yard line. Mark Brunell will scramble. And a good gain as he slides to the 30-yard line. First down Jacksonville, a 13-yard run by Mark Brunell as we run back to New York to Greg Gumbel for an update.
Tom, more good news for those Jacksonville fans because Pittsburgh falls further behind Denver. John Elway, 25 yards. Rod Smith on the receiving end. Second time today, those two have hooked up for a touchdown with the extra point. 21-7, Denver in the lead. Tom.
All right, Greg, thank you. Jacksonville, though, needs to get something going here, and they do have their best drive of the day underway. Natron Means, trapped, nowhere to go, strung out for the defense and blasted out of bounds by Ty Law. Jacksonville just unable to get Means around the corner here recently.
Well, you don't want Natron Means going around the corner. He usually gets outside when he goes in and then out. You get number 20's shoulders pointed this way, you see the 20 facing the sideline, you got him just where you want him. You want those shoulder pads heading straight upfield if you're Tom Coughlin, the Jaguars coaches.
Sets up a 2nd and 11 for the Jaguars. Just over 7 minutes left till halftime. They're down 13. Reverse. Beautifully played. Willie Jackson stopped in his tracks by Cliff Slade. Slade was standing there waiting for it.
Well, this is defensive football executed just perfectly by Slade. We've seen him do a good job with Baselli. Watch Slade come up and stay at home. You hear that term a lot. Stay at home and have recognition. Slade recognized the reverse and then deepened up. And that's what he's supposed to do. There's Slade. Watch him deepen right now. He saw Jackson coming. That's excellent defensive football.
Now the Patriots go with their dime defense on 3rd and 18. Brunell sets up the screen to Stewart, and again it's beautifully played by the Patriots defense. Ty Law was all over him. They couldn't get a block at all, and that loses yardage.
Well, the defense today so far for the Patriots has had that fire. You saw the offense had a little of that fire on the sideline conversing with each other. But the fire in general is in this Patriots football team. They came down here to Florida for the second time this year ready to play a football game.
Barker's second punt upcoming. David Meggett is the deep man. Take another good bounce, and it'll be down around the 5-yard line. Barker had just the right touch on it, 36 yards, but Reggie Barlow was there to down it around the 5-yard line. Here's a guy that should be headed to the Pro Bowl. In fact, both Jaguar kickers, Barker and Hollis, deserve a berth in the Pro Bowl with the voting coming up tomorrow.
And so far, Barker's been the highlight.
Yeah, that's right. There haven't been many things to smile about if you're a Jaguar fan. And all that talk about revenge and about pushing for the playoffs and everything else, the fire taken out of them by this New England team that is, this is the team I think Patriot fans expected to see all season long.
And honestly, a team that has every excuse without a Curtis Martin and a Terry Glenn offensively to be down and feeling sorry for themselves. They're not anywhere close to that right now.
From his own end zone, Bledsoe whips it to Gash. That's a play that has worked consistently for New England today. His fourth catch, it takes him to the 10-yard line.
Kevin
Hardy with the tackle for Jacksonville. And we remind you the NFL and NBC continues. Special time Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Matchup with two postseason contenders, Cordell Stewart and the Steelers, taking on these Patriots. The NFL and NBC next Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And a rematch of last year's Frog Bowl playoff game.
I was there. I couldn't tell you half the names and numbers.
It didn't matter. No one else could either.
It was amazing.
Play action fake. Bledsoe. Troy Brown slipped just as the ball got there, and it went through his hands incomplete. He was covered by Dave Thomas.
It looked like a real controlled slip, almost like he was trying to get a low fall away outfielder trying to catch a line drive at him kind of deal. And Drew Bledsoe threw a line drive bullet right at him.
Bledsoe's hit 10 of 15, 97 yards, including a touchdown. And how many times in sports do you see it? A key injury, a key missing element, and the team responds by coming together. That's been the story for Bledsoe and the Patriots so far. Had to unload quickly to Coates, and he is stopped short of the first down on an excellent tackle by Deon Figures. Chris Hudson was coming on a blitz, and Bledsoe had to get rid of it. Figures made a sure tackle to prevent the first down.
Well, they lined up Byers at tight end, had Coates in the motion. The blitz, more than anything else, makes Bledsoe get rid of this thing, that along with the coverage. Great coverage down the field. Look at the reaction by Deon Figures. Another good example of good preparation from coaches.
Tom Tupa will punt from his own end zone. Reggie Barlow backpedaling. It'll go out of bounds, and they'll mark it right around the 45-yard line, where the Jaguars will take over. 42-yard punt.
There's Danny Villa, brought back recently to do the long snapping on the punt. He's got kind of a snapper's body, if you notice here. But watch what happens here with Villa and Halleck. Halleck takes a shot. Look at Villa. He looks at the ref. What are you going to do about this? Then he starts smiling. Hey, I'm just here to snap. I barely got any pads on. Don't pick on me.
Jacksonville taking over and needing something before halftime. McCardell close to midfield, driven back by Lawyer Malloy, and now it's Couple.
You're seeing a little frustration now out of the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's a surprising thing out of a Tom Coughlin team, because they are, as a team, normally very, very composed, but they've done some non-Jacksonville things with the fumbles and things like that.
Keenan, I've found that most arguments with lawyers are fruitless. That will cause frustration, won't it? Dealing with a lawyer. James Stewart. Big play for Jacksonville. First down as he penetrates the 40-yard line of the Patriots, and Lawyer Malloy finally tracked him down, but not until James had an 11-yard gain.
And this running back out of the University of Tennessee takes advantage of good blocking from Coleman and Baselli and Mitchell. Earlier this year, Stewart had 5 touchdowns in one football game when he was in full time for an injured Natron Means, and they need that spark out of somebody offensively.
Spot the ball at the New England 38-yard line. Mark Brunell drills it complete to Pete Mitchell. And the former BC Eagle has his second catch of the day. And a first down. Todd Collins stopped him just short of the 25-yard line.
Yeah, and a little bit of that act by Mitchell is trying to say to Lawyer Malloy, that wasn't much of a hit. So he goes back and immediately checks his chin strap and his face mask and his ear hole, make sure it's not a little bent from that contact. safety out of University of Washington, Malloy, will bring it to you, hitting you.
From the 27. This is Jacksonville's deepest penetration of the game. Screen pass dropped by Stewart.
Pass intended for James Stewart.
Well, so far today, Jacksonville has not thrown a screen pass like I've seen them normally execute. Normally, the running backs get up into the line of scrimmage and then break out. Right now, they're going flat out into the flat. Watch Stewart do this instead of getting up and hiding a little bit. It's just a little thing, but if you don't get up into your lineman and hide, those linebackers never have a chance of losing track of you, and they're going to find you, drop it or not.
Quick pass and a diving catch by Jimmy Smith. Brunell had to get rid of it, and Smith made a diving reception, number 2 of the game. Ty Law was all over him, but the Jaguars starting to make some plays now as we come up to the 2-minute warning. Jacksonville threatening, and those problems in the red zone, they need to convert. Jacksonville with the ball at the 18, and this red zone is where they've had problems in recent weeks.
And the biggest problem, touchdown production. And they've bogged down an awful lot right in this part of the field. I talked about Stewart getting those 5 touchdowns. That goes in your red zone mix. But if you don't get down there to run it in, that's been the problem.
Very good to start the season, and then the last 2 games, the problems. On 3rd and 1, Brunell sneaks it enough for the first down. Lawyer Malloy cracks him pretty good, but Brunell will have the first down.
Well, watch the end of this run. Mark Brunell is trying to get the first down. He's got it. Now he kind of looks like, hey, nobody's hitting me. Looking like it almost looking for a reason to fall down, and he can't find it until Malloy comes up and smacks him.
Brunell does play with a brace on that knee. In fact, he said the doctor said you don't have to wear it, but Tom Coughlin said yes, you do. That looked like Tony Boselli with a false start, which would cause Jacksonville to take a 5-yard penalty.
False start and more chipping up front from Willie McGinnis.
Delay of game. Offense. 5 yards. Still first down.
So the delay call cost them 5. And we invite you to stay with us at halftime. The Domino's Pizza NFL and NBC halftime report. Greg, Chris, Joe, and Sam catch you up with the scores and highlights, and they'll try to unscramble that playoff picture for you. That's all coming up at halftime. The Domino's Pizza NFL and NBC halftime report.
Well, I'm sure glad they can straighten out the playoff.
We'll be listening.
Yeah, where's Dr. Irwin Corey? He usually can figure those things out. This with 3 games to go.
1:28 left till halftime. Brunell goes for the end zone. It's caught but out of bounds. Willie Clay defending Keenan McCardell.
Pass intended for Keenan McCardell.
That was a perfect Canadian League pass.
Defended by Willie Clay.
This is Doug Flutie in the Grey Cup. It's 6 points.
That's the New England.
But Willie Clay does a nice job of forcing him out of the field of play. I mean, they don't care if you catch it there. Clearly out of bounds.
Clock stopped at 1:23. Ball at the 20. 2nd and 15. Brunell scrambles again and then unloads. Back to the end zone. McCardell, touchdown.
Scrambles left, don't drop the receiver because he's going to throw it.
And Law came off McCardell. Brunell spotted him in the back of the end zone, and Jacksonville scores just before halftime. Hollis for the extra point, the NFL's leading scorer, now at 117 points on the season. Keenan McCardell, his 3rd touchdown reception of the season.
Remember what I said about scrambling left? Not only watch Brunell, But watch the area back here. Watch the receiver. Look at the coverage. He sees the receiver coming open now. It's been dropped. Ty Law only has to lose track of his man for a split second. But when you know it's going left, watch McCardell go down the field and watch how Law reacts. Doesn't close, and it cost him 6 points.
And it's the first touchdown that Ty Law has allowed all season long. And Brunell has found McCardell on 5 occasions here. 5th catch of the day for McCardell, 59 yards, including that 20-yard scoring pass.
Pete Carroll told us yesterday his cornerback Ty Law, if he has a flaw, he tends to be a little bit too physical. Been called for 12 penalties this year, mainly because he's gotten up on receivers and slammed them. Might have tried to find a happy medium for his defense there and getting a little bit closer to McCardell.
Hollis will kick off for Jacksonville. 1:16 left in the first half. Meggetts and Colors are deep for the Patriots. This will be Colors from about the 6-yard line. And a fumble. And New England got it back. At least Dale Hamer said initially New England had it back.
Yeah, I'll bet you big money out of that dog pile a Jaguar comes out of it, though.
James Hamilton knocked the ball free from Derek Colors. And Hamer does confirm that New England has recovered the fumble.
You get in a pile like that, you're lucky you're not wearing your watch in your wallet, because there's a good chance you're going to lose it. That ball goes on the ground. Players start grabbing. Colors, you see, he's got a cast on his left wrist from a dislocated thumb. Loses track of that football.
And Vernon Crawford is able to recover it. Does that mean if Reggie Roby is in one of those pileups, he loses his watch? Because he still wears his watch, doesn't he?
I said football player.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's not a football player.
From the 22-yard line, Patriots with Bledsoe in the shotgun. Pope, his third catch takes him to the 26-yard line, hit by Aaron Beasley, and there's an injured Jaguar on the field.
Tackled by Aaron Beasley.
Clyde Simmons. While they tend to him, let's go back to New York, where Greg Gumbel has another update for us.
All right, Tom, in Kansas City, the Chiefs have opened up a bigger lead on the Raiders. Rich Gannon rolls to his right, eludes the tackler, finds clear sailing to the end zone, 5 yards and a touchdown. And as they approach halftime in Kansas City, it's a 20-0 Chiefs lead over Oakland, Tom.
All right, Greg, and here in Jacksonville, the Jaguars have narrowed the score. Trailing by 13, they get the touchdown just before halftime, 57 seconds left.
Well, the Raiders have obviously been to canine obedience school, learned how to lay down.
You'll be getting a press conference. We'll be holding a press conference to attack you here in the day or so.
Well, Clyde Simmons still down. This is one thing. This Jaguars football team has lost so many football players to injury this year. It's just amazing they've got the record they do. Working against Bruce Armstrong, just basically twists his leg as he's trying to move laterally, moving sideways. Foot gets caught in the turf.
Veteran Simmons, his 12th season. Number 1 sack man for the Jaguars, 7.5. Kansas City 20-0 on Oakland. Jacksonville trailing. Those are the two teams that can clinch a playoff berth today. Kansas City looks to be well on their way. Jacksonville in a dogfight, down 13-7. Bledsoe's pass to Brisby, and Brisby followed instructions that time. He has a first down to the 40-yard line, tackled by Travis Davis. 13-yard gain on Brisby's second reception of the contest.
And what a good example, not only a quarterback not losing confidence in a receiver, but a receiver knowing that if he works for his guy, he's going to get him the ball. A lot of receivers will quit on you in those situations.
And New England calls a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining. After the game, don't miss the exciting conclusion of the Office Depot Father-Son Challenge. Golf legends Jack Nicklaus, Raymond Floyd, Hale Irwin, Johnny Miller, many others team up with their sons for the final day of action coming up next on NBC. So, other teams can clinch playoffs today, but the only ones that control their own destiny with victories today, win and you're in, would be Jacksonville and Kansas City.
There's a long list of if and maybes and so-and-so loses and so-and-so ties. And
it'll all be made clear at halftime. Here's Bledsoe. Standing in the pocket and finding his man Brisby again, and Brisby to the 35-yard line of Jacksonville. 26-yard gain, finally tackled by Travis Davis. Bledsoe stood right in there in the pocket with the rush all around him.
And this is a great job of execution by Drew Bledsoe and this offense in this part of the field. This is the part of the field, and this is the part of the offense. This is not a team that's done this great this year, but right now they're doing it just like their offensive coordinator, Larry Kennan, wants them to. Look at Brisby evading right there, Dion Figures.
Instead of arguing, they were going to be embracing soon.
Well, yeah, that is what you got to do. I mean, Brisby is just executing what the pattern the coaches call for. And a lot of receivers in situations where people get in their face, you know, they're artistes. They're high-strung guys. You can't always get in receivers' face and challenge them a little bit. He's been challenged, and he's coming through.
Already in Vinatieri's field goal range, it'd be about 52 yards. He does have a 52-yarder this season. Bledsoe got a little closer with that pass to Brisby, and Brisby suddenly has become his favorite target. Fourth catch, Dion Figures made sure he went out of bounds.
You know, it's a late blitz coming in right here, and watch Bruce Armstrong right here working against Chris Hudson. See that pickup?
Got a little piece of him, huh?
Yep. Armstrong saw it, Bledsoe saw it, good execution. Another example of an offense ready to handle what they're throwing at him.
39 seconds left. Bledsoe's hit 15 of 20. He has one timeout to play with. Throws it in the flat to Coates, and Coates gets it close to the 20-yard line with Travis Davis hanging on for dear life. Clock still runs.
This is the move fast but don't hurry mode. You don't want to do anything stupid. Just spike it.
And he does. Stops the clock with 20 seconds left.
You know, that sounds really simple, but it's amazing when you're an offensive player and you're trying to hurry up and get there, how many times somebody moves, somebody doesn't get set, or how many teams have you seen get called for an illegal formation because the receivers aren't set up properly on the line of scrimmage. And a lot of teams want to say, you know, how do you do it? Well, you know how you do it. Look at Lagerman. Lagerman's going to, well, wait, I'm not supposed to try to get in your way. I just have to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Bledsoe, sideline cut. Catch made by Troy Brown.
Pass complete to Troy Brown.
14 seconds left.
And now this Patriots offense is in the red zone area. And when you get in the red zone and you're a defense playing the New England Patriots, you worry about Drew Bledsoe, but you had best have somebody all over Ben Coates. If this is a pass for a touchdown in the next play or so, it's because Ben Coates either catches it or causes it because of the coverage on him.
Counting the spike, Bledsoe 6 of 7 on this drive. Meggett stopped at the 5-yard line. Davis again made a touchdown-saving tackle. They spend their final timeout, stopping the clock at 7 seconds.
30 seconds.
You know, on that play, Ben Coates, the tight end, moved way up around the 5 or 6-yard line and opened up the linebacker. When I say opened up, he presses the linebackers back, and that's why Dave Meggett's able to catch his pass behind him. Watch the way the linebackers and the defensive backs react to Coates. And when he sees Meggett coming, he lays himself a little block there.
Got a piece of Eddie Robinson.
One more time, watch the defense stretch this way because of Ben Coates and open up the ground for Dave Meggett. I tell you, this tight end causes a lot of defenses to make adjustments you can take advantage of.
Let's watch him here as, with 7 seconds left, Bledsoe's going to take a shot at the end zone. He's 7 of 8, 73 yards on this drive. End zone! Touchdown! Coates!
close pass complete to Ben Coates.
Pete Carroll and the Patriots said, I don't care if you know what we're going to do, try and stop it.
I tell you what, Drew Bledsoe never took his eyes off his tight end. Tom Coughlin saw it on the sideline. Pete Carroll saw it on the sideline. Every one of these 70,000-plus people knew who was getting that ball. And he threw it to a covered Ben Coates, and Coates came down with it.
That was an impressive drive. Vinatieri for the extra point. Up, and it is good. Drew Bledsoe hit 8 of 9 passes on that drive. In fact, the only incompletion was the spike to stop the clock. 78 yards and the clincher to Big Ben Coates.
Watch Ben Coates come up the field, and you tell me if this is a wide-open tight end. Wide open? I don't know about wide open. Drew Bledsoe never takes his eyes off Ben Coates. Ben Coates separates, and Bledsoe gets him the ball.
Well, we said without Curtis Martin, they would have to throw the ball, and there's the man. They have 175 passing yards in the first half and only 10 yards rushing.
You know, Travis Davis never he had his back turned the whole way, and Pete Carroll saw the coverage, and he knew it was a touchdown, and not bad for a laid-back California surfer boy, huh?
Well, the Bledsoe-led Patriots, as you see that outstanding drive, had won their last 2, but in a ragged fashion. In fact, the whole team was pretty well bummed after their victory over the Colts. Pete Carroll gave them Monday off and said, let's refocus. And this performance against a good team, which is what had caused a lot of question marks, has been impressive so far. But also, to put the other side of the coin on it, the second half recently has been their undoing. So they have to play 4 quarters, but the first 2 look pretty good. Vinatieri squibs it. Picked up by Pete Mitchell. Mitchell to midfield as the first half comes to a close.
That is the end of the first half.
So Jacksonville's trip to the playoffs, which could be clinched today, their long 13-game home winning streak in jeopardy. 20-7 at halftime. The Domino's Pizza NFL and NBC halftime report is next, right after these messages from your local station. Getting ready to start the third quarter with New England leading Jacksonville 20-7. And Tom Hammond and Randy Cross back in Jacksonville, where 2 teams very much in the playoff picture squared off. And without Curtis Martin, New England is playing an excellent football game, almost exclusively through the air on offense, but doing a great job.
Exactly. Remember at the beginning of the game, I talked about the fact that the Jags defense concerned me because they didn't have Martin, they didn't have Glenn, they didn't have all those toys. Well, the big thing has been the turnovers by the Jaguars. You see right there that too, but also that last drive at the end of the first half was monumental for this offense of New England. They got something late right there. You made the point about them keeping it going. That is the one you're going to have to see because there is no fire in the first half in the Jaguars, but this is a comeback Jaguar team, especially when you're playing an offense without Curtis Martin.
Those Coors Light halftime stats showing that without Curtis Martin, New England had only 10 yards rushing. Reggie Barlow takes the second half kickoff and has collapsed short of the 30-yard line after a 17-yard return. And making the special teams tackle was Vernon Crawford, who's been a factor in this game today. He's made several big plays.
Hey, it's not really been a case that Pete Carroll's defense has just snuffed the Jaguars' offense. You see right there, they've been outscored pretty good in the second half, and mainly because of mental lapses and letdowns. But in this game so far, the Patriots' defense has found a way to stop the Jags every time they've gotten in a roll, except for the one drive that ended in the touchdown.
First down Jacksonville from the 30. Natron Means. Jacksonville rushing attack hasn't exactly been tearing things up either. Mark Wheeler stops Means after a couple of yard game, maybe 3 or 4 actually.
I want you to see a little bit of something here away from the ball. Watch Coleman right here working alongside Searcy. That's DeMarco and Searcy that absolutely speed bump. And I'm talking speed bump Henry Thomas. They knocked him 3-4 yards off the ball.
Natron Means 9 carries, 31 yards. Here he is again, and a better effort that time. Takes him to the 40 and close to a first down. Ted Johnson tripped him up. Spot of the football will determine whether he got just enough or just short.
Hand off to Natron Means.
And apparently it is close enough that they will measure.
Well, there's the group up front that can close out a football game and did at the end of the year last year for the Jacksonville Jaguars because of that running back right there, Natron Means. For this team to get a playoff berth and be effective over the next month, that line's got to be in peak performance, and that running game has got to hammer it on. Because as many toys as they have, the key to this offense is the running game.
Just short of the first down. It'll be third and that much for Tom Coughlin and the Jacksonville Jaguars, who had won 13 straight at home coming into today and needed a victory to move into the playoffs.
Well, this franchise, though, Tom, if you had to talk about one thing that just typified this team, they don't play boring football games. You leave a stadium after you see a Jaguar game, it is always close. I think you probably picked 2 or 3 times out of the last 3 years. It's been really a blowout either way.
Much to the chagrin of Coach Coughlin at times. Means has the first down as he pounds across the 40. Ty Law brings him down, but Jacksonville with Means on 3 straight carries has the first down.
It's a little bit of a risky proposition going from an I formation, a deep handoff. Any kind of penetration is going to really hurt you, but when your running back Natron Means doesn't get hit until right about the line of scrimmage, with that size, he's going to get a first down.
Fake to Means, and Brunell rolls and delivers. Caught by Halleck, and he is out of bounds at midfield, chased out by Chris Slade, and that is his first catch of the day.
8 of 8.
You know, Ty Halleck is the guy that was trying to pick a little something with Danny Villa, the long snapper from New England. And watch Halleck go underneath. See, the fake goes right. Halleck goes underneath left. That's just a good case right there. Chris Palmer, the offensive coordinator, pulling a play out of the playbook he thinks is going to work, and it does.
For 8 yards, and 2nd and 2. Means cuts up, has it. He's to the 45-yard line. Tripped up by Mark Wheeler. Natron Means with another first down run, and to start the third quarter, they've been mixing up the run and pass a little better. In fact, primarily it's been Natron Means on the ground.
You know, the rushing for this team is getting better over the last 5 games. You see that jump, and especially that jump per rush. I mean, they've gone up 0.6 of a yard in that period. That is a big deal for this offense, because then they can eat up the clock and put the premium on possession.
68 yards rushing, and of course without Curtis Martin, the Patriots only 10 yards rushing. But they have the lead, 20-7. Brunell, caught around the jersey, manages to heave it out of bounds. Lawyer Malloy was all over Brunell, had him by the jersey sleeve, and Brunell able to get it away.
You associate strength with the Drew Bledsoe 6'5", 230-pound quarterback, but Mark Brunell, built much like Steve Young, is a very sturdy, very strong player with very strong legs. And you don't evade a grab on the jersey like that and have that kind of stability without a lot of strength.
1 sack of Brunell today, who went to the University of Washington, and Bledsoe at Washington State played against each other. Have become closer, though, the last few years at pros. And Brunell sees a lot of green in front of him. Ducks out of bounds. He picked up a first down. Jimmy Smith downfield had a good block. 14-yard gain on a scramble by Mark Brunell.
An example of the defensive back, Tom, being very aware of that scrambling ability. To the left. Remember, left means pass, right means run. The defensive backs know it, and when he scrambles left, they stay with the coverage. And by staying with the coverage, that gives Brunell the space down the field to get it.
And here's the block by Jimmy Smith. They got him an extra 5 or 6 yards.
They got that little shot on Lawyer Malloy.
Natron Means stacked up at the 30-yard line, gained a yard. Ted Johnson, who came in with an even 100 tackles on the season, made sure that Means didn't get going that time.
This is just what this Jaguars football team needed to start a second half. It was just a methodical drive, running their style of offense. And it's what the style of offense that makes Tom Coughlin's team so dangerous. Because just now when you're worried about Natron Means, and you're worried about the short passing game to a tight end like Mitchell, or the scrambling of Mark Brunell, you've got to be aware of those receivers getting down the field.
This is the 9th play of that methodical drive. Brunell is sacked at the 35-yard line by Ted Johnson.
Mark Brunell tackling behind the line of scrimmage.
Johnson, the former All-American from Colorado, the All-Big 8 performer for the Buffaloes, makes the big play.
Watch the pass rush in general, because this is not just a one-man gang. Chris Slade comes around from his outside, loops inside. He's about there. Ted Johnson makes the sack. But that is good team defense upstairs. I mean, you're talking about a defense that is trying to contain a quarterback and rush him at the same time. That's kind of like patting your head and rubbing your belly at the same time for a lot of people.
6 defensive backs on now, 3rd and 14. That was not me. Brunell running for his life and will outrun the pursuit to the 30 and inside to the 25-yard line, where it's Willie McGinnis that bumps him out of bounds.
You can really see that brace on the right knee of Mark Brunell's, and you know, his running right now, he is not running full speed. When he is full speed, he's a scary proposition for a defense.
There's a brace on that knee.
It's a big, bulky thing, and you know, normally Mark Brunell gets a first down there when he's full speed.
So Hollis will attempt a field goal. He's made 16 in a row. He is the NFL's leading scorer. It will be from 44 yards away. And it is no good. So his string of 16 in a row somewhat typifies the day so far for the Jaguars. Not much has gone right. Still 27. Ready cross from the banks of the St. Johns River, Jacksonville, Florida. Jaguars need a win to advance to the playoffs, but so far trailing the New England Patriots. And Drew Bledsoe on first down. Chase throws it up for grabs, and it's incomplete. Ronaldo Wynn was in the face of Drew Bledsoe, made him unload the football, and it's still 20-7 by virtue of this missed field goal.
And nothing really wrong. Good snap, good hold, good yank. And over on the Patriots sideline, Pete Carroll was doing some serious cheerleading. Miss it, miss it. Watch the spin move.
David Meggett turns the corner, then runs into a wall of tacklers led by Deion Biggins. To bring up a 3rd down play for the Patriots.
Drew Bledsoe got lucky on that first pass, trying to evade that blitz. Evade that trash back by Wynn. He threw that thing out where it could have been picked off.
And here's the hurry up for New England. Dave Meggett puts on a couple of moves and makes it all the way down to the 46-yard line. It's a gain of 15 as Brant Boyer finally tracks him down on the no-huddle offense that time for New England.
So we've already said that they're not rushing the ball very well today, and Bledsoe's doing such a good job throwing. Well, I'd be interested if you took a lot of these little short dump-off passes and swings that Bledsoe's throwing to his running backs and added those as rushing yards. That's what they're serving as.
Here's a rush with Meggett, illustrating why they haven't done it very often. 2-yard gain. Brian Schwartz the tackle. As you see the other scores, Denver and Pittsburgh still locked at 21.
Game
just starting the 3rd quarter. Well into the 3rd in Kansas City. Here's Bledsoe. Like Jefferson went one way, his pass went the other, and it's incomplete.
Pass intended for Sean Jefferson. Dave Thomas is on the coverage. Incomplete. 3rd and 8.
It's going to be 3rd and long for Bledsoe.
Just going to the basic no-huddle offense, trying to impair the substitution pattern of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
6 defensive backs for the Jaguars showing blitz. Bledsoe has plenty of time, but the pass over the head of Brisby, and New England will punt.
Pass intended for Vincent Brisby. Deion Fingers defensively incomplete.
So the Jacksonville defense does its job, and they'll get the ball back, but the Jag offense has not been doing much.
That's exactly what Pete Carroll wanted to know on the sideline, was what kind of coverage was that his quarterback drummed that thing up over into the stands. It was a good play by Drew Bledsoe, though, because there was nothing there. He didn't have an open receiver anywhere on the football field.
Averaging 46 to punt, Tupa for number 3. Try to pooch punt it and down it deep. Barlow calls for the fair catch, makes it at the 9-yard line. It was a 35-yard punt. Jacksonville takes over deep in their own territory when we return. Many in the Jacksonville record crowd of 73,446 in the holiday mood, and so is the Jaguar mascot in the middle of the field.
That's too early to even start shopping. What do you mean holiday mood?
The Patriots doing their best Grinch imitation so far as they lead 20-7, and Brunell overshoots Means on the attempted spin pass.
Henry Thomas is the Patriot that time, getting right into the grill of Mr. Brunell and making him throw that one high. And just what you have to do to a quarterback is you don't have to hit him, you just have to distract him. 95, that's Henry Thomas, and he's driving Ben Coleman back into his quarterback, and that causes that high throw.
Thomas needs another sack for a big bonus. He said all his teammates have been tracking it more than he had. He'll figure it out eventually, but it seemed like everyone else is paying more attention than he was. Here's Means with a cutback move and then tripped up by Willie McGinnis. McGinnis sent him flying and stopped what could have been a potential big game. The NFL season extends to the World Wide Web on NFL.com, the league's official website. Visit NFL.com for all the scores and stats, including a complete roundup of this weekend's scores and action, plus chat live with some of the NFL's biggest stars, all at NFL.com. Dime defense on for New England as Coughlin and the Jaguars face a 3rd and 9 from their own 11-yard line.
Jimmy Smith's been awful quiet so far today.
Quiet no more, though he stopped short of the first down, and there's a penalty marker. Larry Wiggum hit Smith hard, and he prevented a first down gain, but the penalty against New England will keep Jacksonville alive.
Illegal use of the hands. Hands to the face. Number 55 of the defense. 5 yards. First down.
Willie McGinnis whistled for the penalty.
Oh, Willie's been pretty fired up today. He got up on the wrong side of the bed and sort of mad at the world, the way he's been chipping at guys every now and again, and got a little bump on his guy. 55 right here, working against Ben Coleman. See that little hand in the face? That's Brian DeMarco he's working against, 73, and wrenched that whole head and neck back on the guard.
So the Pro Bowler costs his defense, and Jacksonville has a first down at its own 16. Brunell chased from the pocket, still on his feet to throw it away. Willie McGinnis fired up after getting the penalty, was about to get to Brunell.
And even without his full mobility, Mark Brunell is able to move around in the pocket well enough and effectively enough to get away from a sack. You know, McGinnis just sort of gets up there and gets a little shot on him, and you see why Brunell runs right and throws left. That throw right there as he went to his right was not much of a throw. It's more of a heave in Tom Coughlin's general direction.
Given protection, his receiver then fell down. McCardell, defended by Israel, and the pass sailed over him as he went down to the turf, calling for a flag, but getting none.
Incomplete. Third down.
So it'll be third down coming up.
It's one thing that Tom Coughlin's offense hasn't had from its two-star wide receivers is kind of a 1-2 punch like Stewart and Means are at the running back position. So far today, it's been mostly McCardell.
Brunell under pressure and taken down at the 10-yard line. Third sack for New England. Chris Sullivan was the first to get there, joined by McGinnis and others.
And Teddy Bruschi also, second-year linebacker out of University of Arizona. And Pete Carroll knows his defensive line is fired up. Watch the stunning and the games going on inside. Bruschi, 54, is just going to get this sack because basically Mark Brunell runs right into him and he puts his arms around him.
And Bruschi gets credit for the sack and is happy to have it. Barker's punt. Meggett at the 48 with nowhere to go. Back to midfield and maybe the 49 of Jacksonville. 42-yard punt, 2 on the return. Grant Boyer made a nice special teams play. Curtis Martin in street clothes on the sideline, and in his absence, New England has rushed only 7 times for 17 yards. But in his absence, they have collectively come together to play an outstanding game. Flag down as Bledsoe hits his target. Ben Coates at the 30-yard line. 20-yard gain if it stands.
That's going to be holding against the offensive line, Patriots. Anytime you see pass rushers go by the quarterback that fast, somebody tries to get back and somebody grabs them.
Holding. Number 22, the offense. 10 yards. Repeat first down.
That's Meggett, and it nullifies a big play to Coates.
Oh, hey, this is a running back pass block. Running backs don't hold. They hold on. Watch Meggett working against Schwartz right here. Full take on. That is holding on. Not holding.
He was trying not to get smashed is all.
Just protecting himself, and that's his story.
5 penalties apiece, and pretty similar in the yards, too. Here's Derek Cullors making an appearance in the backfield as Jacksonville calls a timeout. And we'll take a break. You're watching the NFL on NBC.
See this covey of Jaguar defenders right here? Take my word for it. There's 12 guys on the field. That's why they called that timeout.
You didn't have to prove it, did you? We didn't have time to count them all. There we go. Derek Cullors with the carry, diving to the 45-yard line. His first carry. Ronaldo Wynn makes the tackle. Cullors grew up in Dallas, a big Cowboys fan. Began his football career at TCU. Coach Wacker left after a couple of years, and Pat Sullivan took over. Cullors wasn't getting much a chance, so he transferred to Murray State. And Coach Houston Nutt has bided his time, waiting for his opportunity in the NFL, and perhaps it presents itself here. Likened himself to Curtis Martin, said they had similar running styles. Here he is again. And he's at midfield.
Derek Cullors.
Next Sunday, exciting NFL action continues at 12 noon Eastern with the NFL on NBC. Most of you will see Dan Marino and the Dolphins battle the Colts. Others will see these Jaguars take on the Bills. Check your local listings for the game in your area. That's the NFL on NBC next Sunday at 12 noon Eastern Time.
This is a situation I'm sure Drew Bledsoe is expecting to get some sort of a blitz, some sort of attack out of the Jaguars defense.
Bledsoe has protection, and the pass is complete to Gash, and Sam Gash fights his way to a first down. 37-yard line. That's 5 catches today. Dana Hall tackling Gash, who came in with 15 receptions and has, as we said, 5 already today.
Watch Eddie Robinson, the linebacker, number 50. They don't blitz. They give Bledsoe the time. Robinson closes, and Gash makes him miss that tackle. That sets up that first down. Tells his fullback, I knew you had that move in you the whole time.
Mario Greer now at the tailback spot in the I formation, and here he gets the call, and Greer, hit in the backfield, manages to eke out a 3 or 4 yard gain. Seth Payne, the rookie from Cornell, was first to hit him.
And Pete Carroll described Mario Greer last night to us, Tom, as the running back most likely to get the ball on a regular basis when it comes time to eat up the clock and pound the ball. And with a little over 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter, this would fit that description. You've got a 13-point lead. Pound it and eat up some clock.
Catch made by Jefferson. And he's out of bounds at the 25-yard line, knocked out by Figures, but he picks up another first down. First catch by Jefferson. Started in the no huddle to open the third quarter. They've discarded that now and working probably on the clock with that 13-point lead.
And good for them, though, Tom. I mean, Larry Kennan, the offensive coordinator, has got Pete Carroll's offense right now sort of smiling and dialing. They're running the ball. They put the defense a little softer for the pass, and that's working.
Greer ran into a pile of Jaguar defenders. Tuaolo at the bottom of the stack.
It's basically the left side of the Jaguars defense. That is best described as nothing, nada, zip, Tuaolo, number 93, getting double teamed by Rucci and Wolabaugh. Then he gets smacked by the fullback, Gash, and still gets in on that tackle.
Now Keith Byers lined up at a wing left and now resetting in the backfield. 2nd and 10, back to that wing spot. Bledsoe given all kinds of time. And when that happens, look out, Ben Coates. He's got it to the 15-yard line. That is 6 receptions for Ben Coates. And Kevin Hardy makes the tackle.
And once again, that play is set up by a missed tackle. Watch Brian Schwartz, the middle linebacker. This is just a short pass that's thrown to Ben Coates because he's the last check. And Schwartz does not make the tackle. Gives up an extra 5 yards to the Patriots tight end. Bledsoe has checked 1. He's checked 2. He goes to the old safety blanket.
Why not?
Coates breaks the tackle and gets him a first down.
Well, almost a first down anyway. Big afternoon for Ben Coates. The players that had to come through for the offense in the absence of Curtis Martin have done so.
You know, my observation coming into this game, Tom, was without a Terry Glenn, with Sean Jefferson limping, what a premium on Ben Coates in the running game. Then Curtis Martin doesn't make this game. Suddenly it's what a premium on the passing game in Drew Bledsoe, and they have come through aces.
Jefferson, Grisby, Brown, 3 wide receivers for New England. Bledsoe tried to sneak it across, and Tuaolo met him head on. Come with a 3 wide receiver formation and let Bledsoe try to sneak it. And I don't think they made it.
Not off that spot. That was a good defensive charge inside by the Jaguars. Their pads were underneath the offensive lineman of Pete Carroll's and drove him back into the backfield.
And the field goal team will come out. Adam Vinatieri already has hit twice today from 44 and 41 yards. This will be about a 34-yard attempt. And he's got another one. Vinatieri with a hat trick. And the Patriots increase their lead. Now 23-7 over the Jaguars. Be a pretty chilly day to be out on the water today. Uncharacteristically cool in Jacksonville. Temperature down below 30 degrees last night and making it up into the 50s. And uncharacteristically also, Jacksonville on the short end of the score. Undefeated at home this season and a string of 13 consecutive victories here coming into today's game. Their final home game of the regular season. Vinatieri's kick to Reggie Barlow. He's buried in the end zone and will down it there.
Reggie Barlow down to the
NBC tonight. What is going on here?
Framed for a murder that never happened.
The woman falling wasn't me.
To clear his name, he's got to keep her alive. Charlie Sheen, Natasha Kinski, the network premiere, Terminal Velocity, after bloopers and Dateline, 9/8 Central, NBC tonight.
You know, Tom, ever briefly in that promo, did you see that red car going out the back of that airplane?
Yeah.
That's one of the best stunts I've ever seen on TV. There's somebody in that trunk. They've got to find the keys, open the trunk, get them out before splat.
Well, they'll tell us whether it worked or not. 5 defensive backs facing Brunel. He throws to McCardell, a gain of just about 10 yards. Steve Israel tackles him. McCardell, the lone bright spot in that receiving tandem of the Jaguars. He has 6 catches today. Jimmy Smith, as you noted earlier, Randy, has been pretty quiet. Here's the no-huddle now for the Jaguars, down 23-7, closing seconds of the third quarter. Blitz. Brunel throws it away. That was Israel that came untouched on the blitz, forcing Brunel to unload.
Hey, it's one of the hazards of having a no-huddle offense to start a series like that. You've come off the sideline, you've got 2 or 3 plays already in your pocket. You probably call them in the initial huddle on the sideline. You bring something different like that, a little blitz, a different look, it disrupts the offense and forces them to get back in the huddle.
It's 3rd and 1. James Stewart cuts up, has the first down. Slammed to the turf about the 36-yard line by Jimmy Hitchcock. Hitchcock, former college roommate of Natron Means, tackling Means back up James Stewart on the final play of the third quarter. It's 23-7, Patriots leading the Jaguars. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. You're watching the NFL on NBC. First play of the fourth quarter, Jacksonville with a first down, 35-yard line. They trail 23-7. Mark Brunell changing the play. And a pass complete. James Stewart short of the 40-yard line as we go back to New York. And since the Jaguars are back at the line, we will not go back to break this time. We'll wait for Jacksonville to run another play.
Last time this happened, we got a blitz from Israel.
Coming from Brewski and from Israel. And Brunell is ready for it this time. He spots Jimmy Smith at midfield. Smith is driven back, but his forward progress will put the ball right on the midfield stripe. Third catch, 29 yards. That last one covered 11 to Jimmy Smith.
Game's unfolding a lot like McCardell and Smith talked to Greg Gumbel on the pregame today, talking about, hey, McCardell starts out good. He starts rooting for Smith to get going.
Brunell got rid of it to Stewart just as he was hit. It only results in about a 2-yard gain. Mark Wheeler makes the defensive play. Ted Johnson just about had Brunell. Mark did a good job to get rid of it.
Hey, really the first pass we've seen today out of either one of these quarterbacks under a lot of duress, getting rid of that thing and getting a completion. Normally it's been an incompletion or a dead throwaway.
Brunell again from the gun. Center screen to Mitchell. Read pretty well by Ted Johnson. Johnson having a pretty nice game defensively for the Patriots as Mitchell has his third catch but stopped short of the first down. It's 3rd and 3.
And notice what you're seeing here. You're not seeing much substitution for the New England defense. It's exactly what Brunell and this offense want.
Patriots showed blitz and it caused a flinch, I believe. Leon Searcy, the right tackle, maybe the culprit. Let's see.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 72 of the offense. 5 yards. Still third down.
It was Searcy, and it gives us a chance to check in with Greg Gumbel. Greg?
All right, Tom, dandy game going on in Pittsburgh, and Cordell Stewart caps a 78-yard drive with a 4-yard touchdown run. Cordell has thrown for 3 touchdowns, run for a 4th, and the Steelers jump ahead of the Broncos 28-24. 2 minutes and change remaining in the third, Tom.
All right, Greg, terrific game, but bad news for Jaguar fans. Losing this game and seeing Pittsburgh take the lead at home against the Broncos. Brunell zip. It's McCardell to the 30. 18-yard gain as Brunell put some mustard on that one.
That was a zone blitz right there. They had a defensive lineman, Henry Thomas, in the coverage. He tried to jump up and knock that thing down, but he wasn't tall enough, and it was too fast to knock down.
7th catch for McCardell. Brunell juggled and dropped by Jackson. He was being hit by Hitchcock, just couldn't hold on right on his fingertips.
Jimmy Hitchcock defensively incomplete.
You know, as the Jaguars get into the huddle, watch this play. Look at Henry Thomas drop into coverage. He sees Brunell, he sees the ball. Arms aren't quite close enough together, and the legs aren't quite long enough to jump high enough to get it.
Tony Boselli.
False start. Number 71 of the offense. 5 yards. Still second down.
Absolutely no problem with crowd noise here. They're very quiet for the home team. It's just lack of discipline and concentration from 2 real good offensive tackles in Boselli and Searcy. I mean, you're worried about the rusher. I mean, he's concentrating out here on McGinnis. Or in this case, Brewski. But that flinch by Brewski made Boselli take that little step back.
10th play of the drive, but they need points. Caught by Smith. Can't get away from Hitchcock. He'll be down just inside the 30-yard line. It'll set up a 3rd down play.
3rd down and 9. That's the New England 29.
Got to be very careful offensively right here. Do not hurry. This is a critical 3rd down. Don't hurry so much you cost yourself a chance at a 1st down.
Flag down. Brunell's pass. Good for the first down of McCardell. If it stands.
Going to be holding against the Jaguars.
That will nullify a 14-yard strike and a first down. Uncharacteristic mistake.
He'll use the hands. Number 73 of the offense. 10 yards. Repeat third down.
Brian DeMarco. How many times today have the Jaguars come up empty in critical situations? That penalty is crucial. They're 8.
There's DeMarco right here at right guard. Watch his hands as they get in the face. Right there in the Henry Thomas's face mask. Gets him a couple shots, and the umpire throws that penalty flag.
Put the ball back at the 40. It's 3rd and 19. Brunell. Out of bounds. About the line of scrimmage. Slade grabbed him. Fans want a penalty marker, but there is none.
There was nothing malicious about that.
Right, just trying to hold on and keep him from going down, really.
Well, he was making sure Brunell was going to stop and get out of bounds. And he keeps going just a little bit past that white line and then holds him up and keeps him from falling down. Great coverage down the field by the defensive backs who know when he runs left he's going to throw it, but he's got nowhere to go. And that's just a little dual momentum there from Slade.
Now it's 4th down. They've hit on 50% this season, but they need a ton. 4th and 19. Brunell again is chased from the pocket, forced to unload for Mitchell and incomplete, and New England will take over.
What a nice job by Willie McGinnis and that whole New England defense just putting pressure on Brunell and causing that incompletion.
1st and 10 New England.
That last play, I talked about Willie McGinnis getting the pressure. Here's the pressure. Just takes a nice shot on Brunell. Brunell trying to beg for a shot to the head, but he gets to the sideline, gets a little shot from his coach, Pete Carroll. And I got to tell you, Tom, this coaching staff has this football team and had this football team ready to play football today. Sharp job.
Meggett. No gain. Travis Davis, strong safety, was first to hit Meggett. When you talk about the game plan, one of the outlying reasons, one of the underlying reasons that Pete Carroll gave his team off Monday, he said, was for his staff to have an extra day to prepare for Jacksonville. Not having to go out to practice and run practice, they spent the time planning for Jacksonville because, remember, this was a completely new staff, not the one that coached the Patriots in the AFC Championship game against Jacksonville last year.
I tell you, not only a good job by that staff doing that, the players have gone out and created turnovers. It wasn't a case of bad ball maintenance as much by the Jaguars, but a good effort by the Patriots defenders and special teamers.
Meggett gets nothing. Brian Schwartz hit him. Interesting that on that same line that Pete Carroll said the players actually knew the Jaguars better than the coaching staff, having played them twice last year, including that AFC Championship game.
And when you talk about that games last year, remember this is a Jacksonville team that made a last-ditch panic effort and almost pulled it off in the first meeting up in Foxborough. Brunell getting a couple of Hail Mary passes to come through for him. So this Patriots team knows full well that Tom Coughlin's offense has the ability to strike fast and put up points.
Complete to Meggett, and he stopped short of the first down. Sure tackle by Eddie Robinson. And so the Patriots will have to give the ball up, but still lead 23-7. And the clock now showing 9:20 and counting.
4th down.
Now in this part of the field, Tom Tupa knows full well the worst thing you could possibly do is kick this ball into the end zone.
Line drive, bounces short of the 20. Barlow picks it up on the hop. And out of bounds at the 20. Barlow returned it 11 yards after the punt covered. 42. New England in control. Tom Hammond, Randy Cross in Jacksonville. The New England Patriots, who had lost 4 of their last 5 road games against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who had won 13 straight at home. It's 23-7 New England, playing a superb game without their 1,100-yard rusher, Curtis Martin.
Time for lightning for the Jaguars offense.
Patriots blitz. Brunell throws to McCardell. It's about a 5-yard gain. Ty Law made sure he didn't have more.
Second down.
Now, last drive, Jacksonville did a lot better job of stopping themselves, and the Pats defense did of stopping them.
On the ground, Natron Mead. Stopped by Mike Jones, short of the first down. As you see, still 28-24 Pittsburgh. Kansas City airing it out against the Raiders. Kansas City looks like they have that playoff spot in their back pocket on their way to victory over the Raiders. Brunell pumps once, then it's deflected at the line of scrimmage. Todd Collins got a big paw on it. It goes incomplete. And a few boos rain down.
I'm always curious, when we do football games, all these people that do what we do, if an offensive guy hits the ball, he's got a hand on it. If a defensive guy does, he's got a paw on it.
You ever shake hands with those guys?
I held a few, but I never shook their hand.
Yeah, you held a lot.
They never wanted to shake after the game. I couldn't figure that out.
4th down and 1. Brunell sneaks. Eddie Bruschi tackles. He appears to have the first down, but not by much. It will be first down Jacksonville, but they trail 23-7. Now 7:50 on the clock. Clutched and just about got Jimmy Smith decapitated. Smith can't hold on to the ball, hit hard by Lawyer Malloy. And don't forget, the NFL on NBC continues. The special time next Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Matchup of two postseason contenders, Cordell Stewart and the Steelers, Drew Bledsoe and the Patriots. The NFL on NBC next Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time for all the action.
Both football teams pretty impressive performances today. Not only New England, but Pittsburgh against Denver at home.
Caught by Natron Mead. Ted Johnson. They're going to have to take one down the field here, aren't they? Trailing 23-7.
They've absolutely got to. They're going to be moving up on 7 minutes here. They don't have to panic and get desperate, but they better start getting some bigger chunks now.
There's a chunk. McCardell. A big chunk. A big chunk. Willie Jackson made a nice block to enable that to be a big chunk play. It covered 34 chunks.
Well, Keenan McCardell plays wide receiver. Then he plays escape artist. Getting away once, twice,
There's
3 times. Now he's a flying Walenda. Look at that tightrope work he does on the sideline. That is excellent, and that's just what Mark Brunell needed.
McCardell, 9 catches, 125 yards, including a touchdown. The only one they have. Stewart carries on the ground, and the boos rain down. He can send one into the end zone. Most of this record crowd of over 73,000 are saying.
Well, they're down by 16. You don't run draws down by 16. Let's see something great. And that defense was stacked inside.
Now approaching 6 minutes. Nice catch by Smith. Ball was a little high, but he went up to get it for 16 yards. Then hit by Collins and held on. He has 5 catches.
And you hear that crowd, that cheer from the crowd, sort of as one getting up and screaming. That's what I'm talking about.
Spot the ball at the New England 12-yard line. First down. 6 minutes, just under. Another beautiful catch made. That one by McCardell for the touchdown. Well, just on his fingertips. I don't know how he held on to the football. McCardell's second touchdown catch. And now they will go for 2.
And what a great job by McCardell, because that pass was just thrown out for him to just go get it by Mark Brunell.
And he got it.
He caught it and rolled it in the end zone.
Beautiful catch by McCardell. Now they will go for two. James Stewart in the backfield with Brunell, who lines up.
Watch a pick combination, Tom. Wide receivers.
And Brunell calls a timeout with a play clock down to 0. Did he just beat it?
That is a terrible, terrible timeout to take. Wow, to have to do that, to have that confusion in that time. I mean, heck, you're going for two. You had all that time after the touchdown to get your play together.
It started out, he was lining up in the shotgun, then he redirected Stewart a little bit, then he went under center. It was a total miss.
Well, let's get back to the play that set this all up for the opportunity for the touchdown. Watch McCardell and the tip of his finger. Don't watch his hand, because that's all fingers. And now let's just keep on rolling. I mean, he's lucky there's a little bit of a crown on this field. Kind of like rolling down a hill when you're a little kid, you roll down that way sideways. Because he had a little bit of momentum going down that crown to get into the end zone.
Jacksonville, oddly enough, has gone for two only once this season and made it. They trail by 10, trying to make it 8. Down to only one timeout. Intended for Jackson, and really off the back of Ty Law, wasn't it?
Yeah, really. It was not a very good throw by Mark Brunell. If he was counting on his receiver being able to get there, he had to go absolutely through the 2 and the 4 on Law.
Let's take a look now at our Miller Time game summary. Patriots up 10. Bledsoe's had a very productive day. 2 Jacksonville turnovers were costly, and a lot of unexpected today. One of those, Hollis missing a field goal after hitting 16 in a row.
Well, all's forgiven if Hollis can get this onside kick to bounce just right and set up for his coverage team to get it.
Got to get that second hop just right. Now he's going to switch sides, trying to catch New England unawares, and goes back the other way. A little trickery, has to go 10 yards, and it has not gone 10 yards yet. And I was just watching the little scrum down there as they all surrounded the ball as it came to a halt, and one of the Jaguars tried to push Ben Coates into the ball.
Well, the first guy to hit it was one of the Jacksonville coverage guys. It actually hit him in the air, I think.
As they were all looking at it, Damon Jones behind Coates.
Not go 10 yards. By rule, must be retried. 5-yard penalty.
So they'll retry it, and I did have to get a laugh at it. Coates had his back turned, and it was Damon Jones, I think, that came up behind him and gave him a shove in the back, trying to push him into the football.
Well, watch Ben Coates. He's coach right here. Look at Damon Jones. But you know what they say, a lot of times when you're out on the golf course in those scramble tournaments, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Patriots have had some troubles with onside kicks in the last few games.
Well, Lindo Mari executed it just perfectly a couple of times against Dolphins.
That was pretty tricky the last time, too, with Hollis, as he faked one way, the other way, and then came back to the strong side of the formation.
Yeah, no more skullduggery here. I think you just line it up and get that thing to bounce up in the air on the second bounce.
There we go again. Wrong you are.
He'll be back.
Nope. Straight down the center this time. Nobody home. Nothing but white jerseys around that one, and Troy Brown pounces on it.
It didn't go 10 yards that time either, but the Patriots fell on it. I mean, the biggest threat to get to that ball was Hollis, number one. And that's no threat. I think the Jacksonville mascot got a better chance of getting that ball than Hollis did.
I think we can all agree that the onside kick needs a little work.
I'm very surprised they had to resort to something like that. This is a team known for its execution and attention to detail. And That was pretty sorry.
Play action pass and a completion to Gash. Well, that's the way they began the game, with a toss out of the backfield to Sam Gash, and fittingly enough, that's how they're trying to end it here. As Gash makes the catch and they try to work on the clock, approaching 5 minutes. Sam has 6 receptions today.
Well, and they've used that short pass as their running game, because Mark Brunell has outrushed the New England Patriots running backs today. But they've used the short little swing passes to Gash, the short little swing pass to Meggett. I mean, it's been very, very effective to get them that, that medium type yardage, anywhere from 3 to 6 yards.
Green Bay leading Tampa Bay. The Packers could clinch the division title with a victory and a first round bye. Mario Greer banged down hard. Joel Smengi collapsed him.
Mario Greer. Stop by number 99.
Third down play for New England. And NBC tonight.
Third down at 6.
Bloopers kicks it all off, followed by Dateline, special time of 8/7 Central, the network premiere of the movie Terminal Velocity, all on NBC tonight. Third and 6. 3 wide receivers, bottom of the screen, and now coach one of them goes in motion. Tries to get a block. It's Meggett. Meggett to the outside, dropped at the 25-yard line by Dana Hall, but it's enough for a New England first down.
What a marvelous play call by Larry Kennan, the offensive coordinator on the sideline. Because everybody sees coach go in motion. You see all the receivers on that side. That's automatic. It's got to be passed. What do? You give it to Meggett with some nice blocking in front, and you get that first down. There's Larry Kennan right there, and not quite time to smile, Larry, but that was a good play call.
Getting close to that time. 4 minutes left. Gash. Travis Davis with the hit on Sam Gash. Well, if New England wins out, they will be the number 2 seed in the AFC, but it won't be easy. They have that Saturday matchup with Pittsburgh next, and they close the season Monday night at Miami. But based on their performance today,
that's going to be monstrous next Saturday, especially with a defense like Pittsburgh's got. They'll do a lot of the things that Jacksonville has, and that's attack. I mean, Carnell Lake's got 4 or 5 sacks in the safety positions the last 2 weeks. Greer
burrows his way close to the 15-yard line. Dion Figures the tackle. Well, Jacksonville had a chance to make the playoffs with a victory today. Now they must think ahead to 2 road games, but winnable road games at Buffalo and at Oakland.
Tom Coughlin knows that nothing has come easy for this football team since he's been here. Last year they get off to a bad start and close with that great finish, and then those 2 great wins in the playoff against Buffalo and Denver. They haven't had the offense clicking this year. It's never been easy for this Jaguars football team.
Well, they'll have to do it on the road as they did last season with that big run in the playoffs on the road. Bledsoe tackled by Smengi. And we can punch one ticket to the playoffs now today. Kansas City, a final score, beating the Oakland Raiders. So Kansas City clinches the playoff spot. And with Denver losing in Pittsburgh, Kansas City very much alive for the AFC West title. They will be in a tie with Denver if the Broncos lose. Here in Jacksonville, it's 23-13. Back in Jacksonville, 2:35 left, 23-13, and Adam Vinatieri about to attempt a field goal for New England, which would cap off the best performance this season by the Patriots.
Well, easily their best performance in a must game against a winning team. They've had a terrible record this year against teams that have winning records.
And playing on the road.
And they have really come in and taken it to this football team for Jacksonville.
Vinatieri from 38 yards. He's already hit 3 field goals. And give him 4. Vinatieri is 4 for 4. And Pete Carroll and his Patriots have been up to the task today. That it's been an impressive performance, reminiscent of the AFC champions of a year ago. And again, if the Patriots can win out against Pittsburgh and at Miami, they will be, as improbable as it sounded a couple of weeks ago, the second seed in the AFC.
Like we saw earlier, with those games coming up at Pittsburgh, or with Pittsburgh at home, and then at Miami as their final game of the year. That is some tough work, but I guarantee you these Patriots will be tuning in tonight when Detroit visits Miami. You got to be rooting for Barry Sanders to put on another Turkey Day performance.
And he is certainly capable. Look at Bledsoe, 234 yards, and very, very productive. And they will also have, as they face the Steelers next week, the confidence of success, which is something that had been sorely lacking around the Patriots camp in recent weeks.
And you've got to think, with a week's rest, Dave Meggett will be able to come back. That hit last week, Curtis Martin, that hit last week on Martin's arm kind of numbed that arm out, hurt that shoulder. It was still bothering him, but with this much rest, they get that running threat back with Curtis Martin next week, hopefully for them.
Vinatieri's kick. Barlow gets by Vinatieri down the sideline, and he will take it the distance. Barlow for the touchdown.
See if it fogs up. If you think this team's dead, it does not quit late in football games.
Meanwhile, there is an injured Patriot back upfield, Teddy Bruschi. They don't see him. They're going to try the extra point anyway. Now they finally do. And Bruschi being helped from the field. Well, just that quickly, many of the fans who had, in the record crowd who had vacated the stand, might be streaming back in.
Take another look at that return. Teddy Bruschi right here gets triple teamed, block, reblock. Opens up that side, and Reggie Barlow just turns on the jets once he gets past Adam Vinatieri.
And now Hollis for the extra point. And he boots it through. So just as we were chalking up the win for the Patriots, the Jaguars and Reggie Barlow say, it's now a 6-point game. Their first return of a kickoff for a touchdown this season.
And a good comeback for this receiver, Barlow. Earlier in the game, fumbles on a big hit by Crawford, gives up the ball, gets good blocking, and does what the good Lord gave him. Blaze down the field for 6 points. Now sets up another circumstance for the Jacksonville Jaguars, that onside kick. I wouldn't expect any kind of trickery. This is a pure, straightforward onside kick opportunity.
2 minutes and 15 seconds. The Jaguars had used all of their timeouts. Well, the Patriots have won 2 in a row, but each game they nearly lost big leads. Week 13, they led Miami 27-3, but when the Dolphins recovered this onside kick with less than 10 seconds to go, they had a chance to win. Then last week, the Patriots were up 13-3 and 20-10, but Jim Harbaugh brought the Colts within 3 late in the game. This time, the Patriots recovered the onside kick and again were able to hold on for the victory. And so here it's suddenly a 6-point game with another onside kick about to unfold.
And Ben Coates caught that one last week, and he's positioned behind the first wave right for the pop-up.
No trickery this time. Straight. And Coates has it. 20-yard line. Right on the money on that call. There's Ben Coates again. He took it on the fly and headed upfield.
And that's exactly why you put a guy with those kind of hands where he is. Ben Coates behind the first wave. Their job is to block the guys out of the way and enable that receiver to catch the ball. Nice job of blocking up front. And then Ben Coates just sort of gives the gimme. I mean, you're going to give this guy that much room, you're giving up yards.
Todd Collins even got him a block to get him further downfield, just inside the 20-yard line.
Yeah, another example of very good execution by the New England Patriots football team and poor execution by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
And after those debacles against Miami on fielding the onside kick, they obviously have worked on it in practice.
A lot, no doubt.
Mario Greer brackens the hit. Remember, Jacksonville cannot stop the clock. All that's left is the 2-minute warning, and we're at that point right now. 2 minutes left, 26-20. Been a bitter pill for Tom Coughlin and the Jaguars with the ability to move into the playoffs with a victory today, and so tough at home. But they're down 6 with 2 minutes left. And New England from the 19 hands to Greer, who's thrown back by Brian Schwartz.
Mario Greer carry. Stop behind the line.
The clock will continue to roll, and Jacksonville unable to stop it.
I'm really surprised New England even bothered with a handoff there. And by all means, they just sort of needed to sneak a couple of balls in there and set up Adam Vinatieri for another field goal try. And absolutely, how important was that timeout that Brunell had to call at that two-point conversion that was a failed two-point conversion.
Here's Greer again, bursting free for a moment. Inside the 15 to the 14, covered by Chris Hudson. As we tick down toward the 1-minute mark, it'll be 4th down, and Vinatieri will come out to attempt another field goal. Remember back to that Monday night game against the Steelers here when Clyde Simmons blocked the field goal to preserve victory for the Jaguars. Not quite the same situation here, and Simmons earlier had to leave the game with a sprained ankle, though he has returned. And he does have 12 blocked kicks in his career. There he is, number 96, Clyde Simmons.
And New England's just going to let this thing go all the way down.
New England, 30-second timeout. 30 seconds.
Seconds, and then the Vinatieri field goal attempt will be next. And then after the game, don't miss the conclusion of the Office Depot Father-Son Challenge. Jack Nicklaus, Raymond Floyd, Hale Irwin, Johnny Miller, many others teaming up with their sons on the final day of action, coming up next here on NBC.
Say the team in that thing, you think it's got to have some sort of an edge over Stockton. Like Dave Stockton and Dave Stockton Jr.
Here's the field goal attempt now. It'll be from 31 yards, and it would be the 5th of the day for Vinatieri. It's up, and it is no good. No good. Seconds remaining, and the Jaguars are still in it.
Vinatieri trying to put it on the right side and bring it in, just yanks that thing left. It is almost bad the entire way, and this gives Tom Coughlin's team a little more life. But his offense is going to see a deep prevent defense out of New England, and not much blitzing for Brunell, but he's going to see all kinds of defenders.
Vinatieri misses, and didn't you earlier mention those Hail Marys by Brunell against the Patriots last season? Just 28 seconds, no timeouts. They're at their own 22-yard line.
You need 30, 35 yards for a Hail Mary, though, Tom.
Right.
No timeout.
Broken up by Hitchcock. And intended for Halleck. 22 seconds.
Jimmy Hitchcock of the coverage. Incomplete. Second and 10.
Well, has thrown 2 touchdown passes today, 236 yards overall on 24 of 39, and his primary target has been Keenan McCardell, who's caught 10 for 137 yards and 2 scores.
The Patriots defense has at least 2 or 3 defenders about 20 yards back off the line of scrimmage. Willie Clay and Steve Israel are 25 yards off the line of scrimmage.
Brunell completes the pass. McCardell makes the catch, his 11th of the game, and immediately gets down. And Brunell's going to try to kill the clock by downing it. Does successfully, but only 7 kicks left. And still nearly 60 yards from the end zone, or more than 60 yards from the end zone.
Well, theoretically, you can run about a 10 or 15-yard pattern at the end zone and get a little bit closer. This is going to leave about a second left on the clock, though, if they can execute this properly. Big Ben formation, Tom, with all those 3 wide receivers down at the bottom of the screen.
Brunell heaves as far as he can, and it is far. It's up there for grabs and knocked down by the Patriots with no time left. Chris Carter deflected it. Brunell, man, he unloaded. He got it all the way to the goal line, but they were unable to make the Hail Mary completion.
The perfect execution by Chris Carter and Lawyer Malloy. When the ball goes up and it's in that situation, you slap that thing to the ground. Watch the technique. If you're a young defensive back out there, your coach is going to tell you, don't ever tip a ball. Don't ever try to catch it. Take it and slap it to the ground. There's a slap from Carter and Malloy. Perfectly executed.
And about 8 white jerseys around that football within 5 yards or so. Bledsoe and the Patriots go on the road facing a crucial game, and they come through big time, although the Jaguars made it interesting at the end. Final count, 26-20. We'll be back to Jacksonville for some final comments right after this. Big road win for the New England Patriots, 26-20 over Jacksonville, ending Jacksonville's 13-game home winning streak and preventing the Jaguars from clinching a playoff spot.